you once again for tuning into the Elle Scoop, the show that gives you the scoop on life, news, and trends. And once again, we've got our guests here, the guests that make this show everything that it is. My name is Lyndsey McGaha. I'm your host, and we've got JC Campbell, who's new to the show today.
Yes.
First male ever on the Elle Scoop.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited.
Yeah, setting
Thank you very
precedent.
much.
He is the assistant pastor of First Gethsemane Baptist Church.
Yes.
Of course, we've got Melody Westerfield. You all know her. She is the creator of Drinks and Dialogue. And then we've got Miss Zuri Johnson, who is, she's so many things. Creator of Life Size Model, the Confidence Clinic, and also Queenly Behavior. Listen, I'm going to let you introduce yourself. You have so many titles, honey. So many. Listen, so as you all know, this is the new year. Happy New Year, guys. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Holding it down. So, in 2015, USA News said that 80% of New Year's resolutions fail. Boom, 80%. Has anyone ever successfully kept a New Year's resolution, and what'd you do?
Nope.
I think I'm a part of that 80% too.
Nope.
Like every time. Now, I've reached some goals.
Right, I've reached goals.
Maybe not in the year that I set them. But I did reach some goals. Yes, amen. Thank you. No one's ever kept a New Year's resolution?
I usually make one resolution and tend to keep it. You know, I stray away like right in the middle of the year, but for the most part, I get back on track. But they're simple. Usually my New Year's resolutions don't consist of I'm going to lose a certain amount of weight, I'm going to work out more. My New Year's resolutions are kind of I'm going to be nicer to people, or I'm going to read an extra book a year, or something like that. So I try to make it simple so I don't, overextend myself.
Mine is usually that I'm going to be on time, and it's 2016, and we're still working on that.
Well.
Okay, but every year I get a little bit better.
There you go. Just
Right?
the increase.
Listen, Oprah understands me, maybe not on the time, but Oprah has set so many New Year's resolutions when it comes to weight. And this year, she's actually lost a significant amount of weight because she is now a part owner of Weight Watchers.
Yeah.
So I think
that
that's pretty
money.
awesome.
Yeah.
She was on Good Morning America today talking about her weight.
Make that money.
Okay, go
She's
ahead.
awesome.
Anywho, Zuri, I think you're next.
No problem. So we have made it 2017.
Whoop, whoop,
I'm so
whoop.
excited. But I do have a question. What are some trends, some things that people just love to do or wear in 2016 that you don't want to see?
Black lipstick.
Baggy pants.
Over it.
I don't
Baggy
see
pants?
Men in jegging pants.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
No
Miss Ann.
jeggings. Okay, I'd say no leggings. You know, some men walk around in the leggings, or they work out in them with they don't put shorts over top of them either. Some of them don't.
Unless you're running track, I don't know why a man
But
would
I
need
don't
to
think
do that.
unless you're on the track, once you walk off the track,
You're not
done.
running track anymore, right?
It's over with. So,
What about you, JC?
This comb over, that young jock and
Yeah,
all these,
the
that's got
little
to stop.
relaxing.
It's too, I can't take it. I cannot take it. It is. I've seen It's one. No, it's one thing to see superstars or celebrities wear it, and then but when you go to Kroger, to get some eggs and milk, and you see like your next door neighbor with a comb over, I'm like, bro, that's not right. So that's got to go. Can't come back.
the new president's got to come over.
It's got to stop.
And his son does too. Sorry, just had to throw that out there. Oh, they have the same hair. Like I knew that was his son before they introduced him as his son. I was like, oh, they're hair twins.
What trend I want to stop?
What?
The Kim Kardashian, the Kardashian trends. I'm ready for them to stop.
I like the Kardashians.
I'm ready for the trend to stop.
I feel bad for their spouses
Yeah.
and their
Something about
significant
that.
others.
You think so?
Oh,
There's
yeah.
something about that family.
It has
There's
gone
some-
tragic
they-
for every relationship.
There's some business-minded people, but as
Yeah.
far as relationships
you.
go,
It's terrible.
Even
it's
Rob.
a dangerous.
But you got to go all the way
China.
back to the mom.
True.
And the father, I guess it's Robert Kardashian Sr. He represented O.J. Simpson.
Yeah,
yeah,
You got to go all the way back to them.
Yeah, true.
because if you look back at pictures, she was booed up with what's Kris Jenner.
before they were divorced?
Before what's the Bruce Jenner? She
Yes.
was in the courtroom during the O.J. trial, sitting observing while her ex-husband or whatever he was at the time was next to O.J. So it goes
And
far
I
back.
mean,
and
look
it's
at
ridiculous.
Bruce.
Oh,
Now
bless his
he's
heart.
Christina.
Caitlyn. Oh my gosh.
Be offensive around him. All around him be
But
offensive.
they work the mess out of marketing because
Yes.
clearly
yes.
I don't know what else they've done.
Yeah.
But now we talking about them.
Oh, yeah.
They've got that store.
Well, they had that Dash.
Yeah,
They
Dash,
had
the Dash store.
when they first started out.
But what
Kylie
made
sells hair now.
But what
Kendall
made
is a model.
them worth buying
Before all of that, before they had that, what?
Okay, but individually, I think it was Kim that you
Blew
know
up the
kind
family.
of right.
Yeah.
But
And then
after
they
took
marketed
their
the mess.
fame and they've used it wisely. I don't know about that.
I don't
but
want
they-
us talking
they
about them as much
successfully-
this
Me neither. I want to really give them up. So, with that being said, I want to know.
Oh goodness.
I do want to know. When us women get a little piece of change, the first thing we do is plastic surgery. And if you had a little
No,
piece
I haven't had plastic
and
surgery.
if you did have a little piece of change, would you do plastic surgery?
Oh,
I'm gonna say yes.
would you? What would
Yeah.
you get?
So I mean, I have cellulite,
Oh,
and I would get rid of that all the way. Okay,
Everybody in
ain't
Franklin
nothing
County,
I can do to get
everybody
rid
all
of
over
it.
the U.S. knows.
Everybody.
I got cellulite, and there's nothing else I can do to get rid of it. So I would have surgery to get rid of it.
You know, a lot of women run into that. I think men do too, but I think I see more women that have like cellulite issues that they would get rid of. I say if you have a health concern or something like that you want to change and you have the money to change it, then change it. I probably wouldn't do it. You know,
Zuri,
I'm not in a position.
you wouldn't do anything.
I would probably get
wouldn't unless-
eyelashes.
That ain't nothing.
That counts.
Draw that on.
It's considered cosmetic surgery, though.
Okay.
If you
That's
wanted to
fair.
get eyelash surgery, it's considered cosmetic surgery, and I'd have nice full lashes, and I'd
I've
just
been asked
blink
to
at
get.
everybody.
I've been asked to get cosmetic surgery before. I was. I have a scar right here, and a group that I was considering working with said their concern was the scar right here. So they asked me if I consider getting it filled in, like with injections. I was like, I can't just put makeup. I just can't put makeup on it. I need to fill it in. I don't know what the what happens long term with the injections. I don't know where the stuff may go.
I work with plenty of women who get fillers and all that stuff, and they keep getting them filled every other
See, that's what I'm
month.
But here's the
saying.
deal,
I gotta
though.
keep
Those
getting
are
the
beauty
needle in my
marks.
face.
A lot of people love the marks that they have because one, it's a sign of whatever it is that they went through to get it, and then two, some people are just born with it, so they appreciate how they were born. So, I mean, kudos to you. I'm glad that you were
I don't want no needle.
confident enough in yourself to stay how you are. So.
I'm
No, I'm not knocking you. I'm not. I'm saying, I mean,
Because I want to get rid of my cellulite.
but I applauded you. I said, listen, if you want to get it and you have the money to get it, I say get it. Kudos, like if you want to get it. But
don't let me get
for
a little
those,
piece of change out there. It's the first thing I'm
Somebody
getting.
send her a piece of change.
Change.
so we know Zuri's a model, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and so working with certain companies, there is a lot of there's a lot of pressure that's put on models to look a certain way or to be a certain way. And the fact that she's in this modeling industry and they asked her to make a change and she said, no, I like the way that I am, that's huge.
Yeah.
Like
I
that's
agree.
something to be applauded, I believe.
I appreciate
I
it.
agree.
Unless
right.
they was gonna pay for it. And then I
Okay.
wasn't. I
See,
still wasn't.
That's a
Gonna
new story.
I still wasn't gonna pay for it.
Shoving out the cash, right? That's different. All right, listen, Dave is counting us down. You all stay tuned. When we get back, we've got lots of different topics to talk about. One, what about the age difference in dating? So we'll be talking about that. We'll be talking about type A men and women in relationships, and we'll also be talking about the Hollywood Walk of Fame. You all stay tuned. Thank you all for tuning in again. Listen, the behind the scenes is just so much here. It's always fun. Okay, we should have backstage bloopers.
Yes,
You already know.
that would be cute.
All right, so you all know Viola Davis, right? She's been in How to Get Away with Murder. She's also been in The Help, the movie, several different movies. So in 2017, she's actually going to be honored with a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, right?
Yes.
So here's the question. Do you all think she got the honor because of her role on How to Get Away with Murder? Or do you think that her movie career played a bigger part?
You know, I just saw her on Kate and Leopold. I don't know if anyone's ever seen that movie. And she was playing this cop in the movie. And I was like, girl, she been working hard. She's been working for a while, and it's just now that people are really seeing the fruits of her labor. And I think that happens with a lot of actresses, actors, whatever, when they get those major roles and get known for it, it's like, oh, they just came out of nowhere, when really, no. They've been putting in the footwork. They've been out here. So I think she's earned this star. I'm excited for her.
I mean, and she started, what a lot of people don't know is she started on Broadway, which a lot of actors start on Broadway. She's a Tony Award winner.
Yes.
Academy Award nominated actress twice. And so she's done a lot of things. I think How to Get Away with Murder and her movie Fences coming out with Denzel Washington catapults her to that position. But I think, like you said, she's been working so hard and been doing some wonderful things. So I'm very excited about it. I love her. I love her. I think she's wonderful.
I like the fact that, so she played in The Help, right? Which was obviously a role that was cast for an African-American female. But then she's now playing in How to Get Away with Murder. And that's not a role that was necessarily geared towards a black woman, but she was cast for it because she's a great actress.
Right.
Absolutely.
So I think that she is breaking a lot of barriers, and I don't know which one's better, because with How to Get Away with Murder, she's reaching people at everyday homes and lives, and I think people of all backgrounds, people of all ethnicities, people of all ages watch How to Get Away with Murder. Those same people may not watch movies like The Help, right? And some movies are geared toward certain populations or demographics. So I'm proud of her. I think she's doing great. I think she's super awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I think the way that she got to where she's got is, I don't like the word got. Anyway, the way that she got there is that she is very a force to be reckoned with. She seems like possibly behind the scenes she might be type A. So I don't know if she's in a relationship, but I wonder how those type A women, if they are able to connect with type A men, those people that kind of just take life by the horns, those people that just go after what they want. Can they mesh in a relationship?
So tell me a little bit about type A women. Let's talk about that. May I have a definition?
Okay.
Maybe we should just pull that up on Google.
Go ahead and Google.
No, go
but
ahead.
from what I've seen, and I have a friend, I'll name her off. My friend Kenise. She proclaims herself as a type A. She likes things a certain way in a certain order, and when she locks in on a routine, she's in there. She's going to get it done. There's not any question of whether or not it's going to get done. And anyone else that wants to come and question her, too bad for them.
Right.
So let's say a man that's very like, this is how things are going to be done, and it's going to be done this way. Can they mesh together when they both have a certain way that they want to get things done?
Let's ask the pastor. Go ahead, pastor. We'll wait. We'd like to know, please.
Well, I consider myself a type A man, but I'm not what I consider aggressively type A. I'm the kind of type A that if it's going to be done, it could be done multiple ways, just as long as whatever way it is done right and it's in order. So Lyndsey would tell you there's certain stuff like on my desk. I don't like certain things to be facing opposite ways and all that good stuff. So people come on my desk and knock something over. I'm like, but I'm not to the point where I'm like totally, it's my way or the highway. And I think that, there's a stigma with opposites attract. Opposites don't always attract. I think sometimes people with similarities balance each other out because you hold each other to a higher standard. But it could become very destructive if you're not very careful about how you speak to someone, how you communicate with others. And so I always try to be type A and be a perfectionist, but I don't ever want people to be offended by who I am. So it can work. You just got to check yourself, I think, at the end of the day.
I'm offended by that.
Why? I want to hear.
I guess there's a line where there's OCD, which what you just described, versus
I'll accept that.
versus I like it to get done and get done well. So I think there's a difference. I absolutely think that two bosses can make it, two type A people can make it. I think, and I hate to say this, but like you don't think that Beyonce and Jay-Z, two people who want it done, and the thing about them is I don't know. It's hard to use them because I don't know what they do together to make things work. I know that this world for her works and that world for him works, and they both make their world work. Right. So, but I don't know if there's something together. So I think that it can work.
But sometimes does a type A have to
somebody's
become a
gonna have
type
to
B.
bend.
Yeah, I was
Somebody's
gonna say
gonna
they have to
Absolutely.
become that
I
slightly
agree.
submissive
Somebody's gonna have to
person.
bend.
So does type B necessarily mean that you're submissive though?
Not necessarily. I wouldn't say they're submissive. You've Googled it.
I
You've
did.
Googled
I'm
it.
sorry.
What is it?
But it's
I don't
not
know.
necessarily
But-
but you're putting a negative connotation on
Yeah.
it. It's
No,
not
I
necessarily
don't think it's negative.
I think
What was
type
gonna
B
say-
is more so the person that just kind of goes
Okay,
with the flow.
exactly.
Well,
exactly.
I was going to say this. So I was reading this article on Facebook. You know, Facebook has all these random articles, and I'm
You
the
better
person
check
that
the
falls for it
source.
every time. I'm
Right,
like, oh,
right.
go to that article and read. So they were saying that type A women sometimes don't necessarily need a type A man, but what they can use is a beta man, which is different
I've
than a
heard
type
that.
B man. It's a beta man. A beta man is a person that's not necessarily type A, but what did they say a beta man was? That he, I guess, helps type A along in her process. So it's not necessarily they don't have things going on for themselves, but they have things going on for themselves, and they're very established. And because a type B person typically, oh, well, I shouldn't say type B, but you know, you have different. You have
Yeah,
alpha, and then you've got omega men, and an omega man is the exact
they gonna get all
opposite.
excited.
Not omega psi phi, but an omega. An
they have this
omega
little
man.
hype.
An omega man is the exact opposite of what a type or an alpha man is. Does that make sense? So I don't know. I mean, maybe I'm mixing type A and alpha together. Maybe they aren't the same thing,
Just
but
depends on the people, really.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the relationship. You know, some people are comfortable with being a beta male in a relationship, and it's not really, you know, there's this stigma with, you know, the man has to always be dominant, but it's not always like that. It just depends on the respective relationship.
that's true. And there, you can be dominant in some areas and not dominant in
Exactly.
others.
Right. I
You know, you
agree.
may control the kitchen, but he may control the lawn. Right? Or
I'm
like,
sorry.
I was just
I don't
saying,
know where
I
that
don't
was
know.
going.
I didn't
I'm
know
just
where we were
saying,
going.
I just chose random spots in the house.
So you
but I'm
just
just saying,
mean different areas.
but the man can control the kitchen, and the girl can control the lawn, or whatever.
Yeah,
I'm
like
just saying.
I have friends. I have a couple that are friends of mine, and they're both type A, and he is terrible with finances. So she controls the finances, and he is a chef. You know, so he does all the cooking. So that's what you mean.
That sounds wonderful.
Yeah.
Guys, my mic is jacked up. Okay, I've got it, Dave. I'm doing. Is it better? Okay, go ahead.
So we are about to probably go to commercial.
Yes, we are. Dave has counted us down several times. I'm sorry, Dave. Listen, you guys, stay tuned. We'll be back with lots of new topics. I don't know what they are yet, but you'll know pretty soon. All right, thank you all for tuning back in. We're gonna let Mel kick off this segment.
So, y'all, let me just be clear. I have been getting hit on lately, okay? Lots of people,
Yes.
okay? One of the things or people that I've been getting hit on by is been young men.
I thought you were gonna say senior citizens. I was gonna be like,
That too. But you know, I think everybody checks for me. You know, I think everybody's checking for me. But people that's checking for me here lately have been young men.
What's
How
young?
young?
23, 27. You know, I'm 35 years old, proudly. To say that, you know, proudly to be 37 or 35. But it has been
Go ahead. So
going on over there. They have been checking for me lately, and I don't know what to do. Does age make a difference?
in when it comes to whether or not a relationship can be successful,
I mean, it can't.
I think experience makes a difference. I think age brings experience. I think it brings wisdom. I think it's important sometimes, but I think it depends on how experienced and how well versed and the horizons of the other person that you're dating sometimes.
There's always an exception to every rule, though.
I agree with that. I agree with that.
What do you mean?
I mean, well, you know, there are younger men and younger women out there that are mature enough to
that's what I
date
was about
a
to say.
35-year-old woman or a 35-year-old man.
I need them to have some more experiences in their life, though.
well, they may have had a lot more.
Well, what if they?
may have
It's
had a
not.
lot
It's
more
not that,
experience.
you know. Even if they didn't have the experience, if you are talking to them or having a conversation with them, and it seems like they are mature enough to know what you want, understand what they want, I don't think it would be a problem, but of course it's personal preference. But you're gonna find, because I know some immature 40-year-olds.
I was just about to say that.
Very
agree.
immature.
I think
And so it just really depends. You see,
The hair flip.
Okay.
so so it just really depends. But if there's a younger person and they are serious about a relationship, age, it just really depends on the level of maturity and the level of seriousness.
So you think I should try it? You think I
If
should?
they take you seriously and are able to pour into you the way you need them to.
That is something that I absolutely said.
I think something
That is something I absolutely said.
Okay, so at certain ages, women become ready to get married, right? And some men are ready to get married younger, but some men take a little bit of time to get to the point where
ones
they
my
may want to
age,
get married.
all of them.
So if you're going to date someone younger than you, I'd say they need to have the same desires in a relationship, the same goals.
Right.
So if they're just out dating and, whatever, then I probably wouldn't do that if you're interested in getting married. I think that's the important thing to kind of know.
But expectations have to be clear. I just can't stand when people are so unclear about their expectations. And I think people, and it's kind of scary at times, but people are afraid to come in and say, listen, I'm not here just to be dating. I'm really looking for someone to spend the rest of my life with.
I am not afraid.
Yes,
to say
and we
that.
need that, and we need people like that, so that the riffraff, if you will be like, oh, well, then I'm not. That's not for me.
I wonder why they approach me. I mean, I'm just grown.
Because
And
you
I'm
fine.
fine.
Your spirit,
So
your
fine.
your
You
aura,
just-
your
you wake up
presence,
fine.
all that
Yes.
good stuff.
And then you do the hair toss. They just don't know what to do with you.
When people are attracted to you, it's a sign that there's something about you. So.
I'll take that.
Yeah. So.
I'll take that.
All right. So Michelle Obama recently did a sit down with Oprah Winfrey. And so she spoke out about being labeled a quote unquote angry black woman. And I'm going to give you the quote that she said. This is exactly what she said, word for word. She said, "We are so afraid of each other. Color, wealth, these things that don't matter still play too much of a role in how we see one another. And it's sad because the thing that least defines us as people is the color of our skin, the size of our bank account. None of that matters." My question for you is, we have 3 black women here on the show and then 1 black man. How can black women, what can they do to kind of combat this stereotype?
There ain't nothing we can do. There's nothing we can do. There's nothing we can do about that. That has been installed in people's minds before we even got here. So there's nothing we can do. All we can do is continue to be magical.
And there's nothing you should have to do. That's the thing. At the end of the day, it's not so much, the issue is not what black women need to do to combat the stereotype. It's what other people that are not black women need to do to change their perception of black women. Black women have been strong. They have been a dominant force in our culture and our society from the ages of time. And so this idea of this crazy black woman, angry black women are too strong and all that, that's a perception. A weak man is going to think a strong woman is too much. So
Is there an offer or something we can pass around? $4? Sir, you need that today?
Well, I just
Yes.
perception
what he
is
said
everything.
is correct, because as soon we talked about type A and we talked about all those things, but as soon as I decide, you know what, I'm going to do something with my life and I'm not going to let anyone stop me from doing it. Well, someone would say that, I'm taking authority, and when I get into a situation where I'm going after something, I'm aggressive, but because of my skin tone, someone may say I look angry all the time because I may be serious about the things that I'm doing. Well, then they come up to you and they tell you to smile. Why do I have to smile to get the work done that I'm trying to get done? But if I don't smile, I'm considered an angry black woman. But in order for things to get done, someone has to get them done, smiling or not. So I don't know how there's no way of combating a stereotype that's given to you just based off of your look or what you say, when someone of the opposite race or gender can do the same thing and not be called angry.
Right.
And I mean, just at the end of the day, I think deeply about stuff, but I'm really common sense. If black women are angry, if they are, let's just say we live in a world where they are, they have every right to be if they are. Looking at the history and the context of how they live, what they've gone through, what they've been through, how other cultures have treated them, how their own black men have treated them, they have every right to be angry. So I mean,
I'll be the angry black woman
Right,
with
you
a
know, it's
picket
just-
sign that's going out there
Absolutely.
marching for the
Absolutely,
same man
yeah.
that's calling me angry.
Absolutely. So just y'all be you all.
Right to be angry.
All right,
Be
now.
you.
There we go.
Now, we approve that message.
I think it's on you, Z.
Well, speaking of being a woman that's
1 minute left.
I like standing up for people. Did you all see the incident that happened in Jefferson Mall in Louisville where
Horrible.
the woman was speaking ill of another lady of a different race? How did you all feel about not only her, but the people around her?
I wish they had spoken out. If I had been in line, I hope that in that particular situation, that if someone's talking bad about another person because of whatever language barrier they may have or where they're from, and then making or typecasting them, putting generalizations on them based on, you know, their wealth and different things like that, then I hope that I would be strong enough to be able to say, hey, you know what, that's wrong. Like, you shouldn't say that. And that my voice is heard in the time of need. So, but it was definitely wrong. I heard she got banned from JCPenney's.
Yeah, I pray for her because when they find out who she is and where she lives, you know, she's going to get all kinds of death threats and people are going to be after her. So I pray for she shouldn't have said what she said. You got consequences, but I do pray for her.
And she went viral.
Yeah.
She went viral
So
overnight.
fast. Like
Overnight.
everybody
Good
knows
Lord
her
have
face.
mercy.
Yeah.
I think the one thing that upset me is that while she's saying these things, she's also like, and I'm sorry that I'm saying this, but this is just how I feel. The way you feel doesn't always have to be stated.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Shut it down. Guys, I think the show is over.
Yeah.
Have we gone through 30 minutes?
I think
Was
so.
that fast or
Yes.
no? That was fast.
Wonderful.
Listen, you all, thank you all for tuning in again. Happy New Year to you all. Once again, this year in 2017, we're going to be on every Sunday at 5 o'clock, so be sure that you tune in every Sunday. You all be sure to check out our website too. It's www. I hate saying that part, it runs together. ellscoop.com. And if you have any questions that you want us to answer, then please be sure to email us at info@ellscoop.com. Thank you all once again for being on. Thank you, First Man, for being on.
It's my pleasure. Thank
Assistant
you.
Pastor, thank you, Mel. And thank you, Z. Love you guys. And until next time.